you're not getting enough replies to your cold email campaigns and not booking enough SaaS demos because of that. There might be a couple of reasons why this can be happening. I believe that from all 100 campaigns that I've seen and audited, there were usually three foundational reasons behind it. One is that you're not doing enough testing and you're not testing enough variations for your for your value proposition, targeting, lead lists, copy, CTAs, subject lines, hooks, etc. I recently got off the call with the founder and they've just been doing one campaign copy for their cold email and sending just one message to like 3 to 7,000 people, and they would ask me, Denis, yo, why are we not getting like 5 to 10 calls a week out of it? And especially with them, for example, this is like pre-message market fit startup, and they would ask me why this is happening. Well, I ask, sure, you're running this one copy, 25-ish% open rate, but what else have you tested? Oh, I mean, we've been just running this one message for the last few months. If you're pre-product market fit and you still haven't cracked the code of what you need to be sending exactly to your ideal customers to get them on the, to make them jump on the meetings at like 1 a.m. at night, then you still have some room for improvement and for testing more versions for your value proposition. The next one would be lack of prioritization. And it's not that you don't want to be focusing on the right things. Of course, everyone does, but it's so frequent that when people are trying to design their lead flow, they're focusing on the wrong things. So for example, another like situation that a founder would be doing small scale LinkedIn outbound outreach, doing very personalized messages to each. And yes, sure, at the start, this like anything may work. However, they're transitioning from early validation stage to now securing the systems and figuring out how they can scale to the next level, and staying at like reaching out to 20 people a day, 10 of them accept the connection request. I mean, half see the message, you get one reply, semi-interested reply for 50 messages, and it's just good scenario you get 1 to 2 calls a week out of this. By default, even if you're able to figure it out, then it's really dependent on you and your own account, and that's why it's not super scalable. That's why regarding the prioritization side, you want to be looking at things which are high leverage. I myself have been posting on TikTok when I just started SaaS Camp and coaching founders. And aside from TikTok, I've also been doing 9 other channels. I was persistently doing 4 TikToks a day, no getting views at all. And with my hardcore work ethic, I lasted around 3 to 4 months doing 4 TikToks every day, felt like complete prison. And with me currently getting between 10 and 25 applications a week for SaaS Camp, by doing what I guess like 100 times less effort, thanks to cold email and LinkedIn ads, love them. It's like, it's so much gold mine in just having the right guidance on which channel you need to be focusing on and where exactly you want to be putting your priorities. Because I've spent over 40 grand in coaching the past 12 months and it's been completely worth it. Not only it's been worth it, but it paid off 5-6x already. And I cannot emphasize it enough how important it is to hear the right advice at the right time, because sometimes I did not, and well, that's how I spent years going and selling to some, like with my past SaaS products, going chasing completely awful audiences. So with one of them, exam preparation tool for medical students, I was expecting to grow this without without venture funding, just by bootstrapping it. And well, I mean, you're lucky if you have not tried students as a audience for your solution, because I suggest you not. Because if you think about, okay, what are the worst audiences to sell to, I think children like below 5 years old would be much better one than students, because students are mostly in the transition stage, like finding their first jobs and going from like transition, getting money from parents to now paying for themselves. And that's why many times they're super scarce in terms of their like money thinking. And why now, if I were to do something similar, I would much rather go for kids under 5 and selling to their parents, because I would have their rich parents pay for the product. And yeah, it's like prioritizing the right audience, the right message, the right timing, all these things, and seeing, okay, each week I on Saturdays do the audit. What are the activities that have given me the highest leverage, and where have I put my time without it getting really nice payoff? And that's how I can optimize my life on a week-to-week basis. And thanks to that, I now understood that, well, it's not about me sitting at the computer for 10 to 12 hours a day, but designing my workday so that I have the most productivity exactly when I need to. And that's how it allowed myself to have like nearly 2 hours off in the middle of a workday, because I can refresh my mind and come to my coaching sessions with completely bright thinking. And thirdly, aside from you having the prioritization in place and you testing enough things, it's so much about the volume you're doing, because now cold email space and LinkedIn are getting more and more competitive. And I don't want to be speaking in these vague statements that, oh, it's getting harder to make money online, or this BS. But think about it, just on LinkedIn, 2 years ago, you could write below mediocre post and get like tens of thousands of views to it, because the proportion of people posting and people reading was just so much far away. Now there are more people posting, so there is more competition for attention. That's how now you need to actually have better skills for writing and copywriting to be signing clients of LinkedIn inbound for your B2B SaaS product. Same thing about cold email. Like 5 years ago, you just I don't know, I have not been doing cold email back then, but from stories I heard that, for example, now you need to be getting into SPF, DMARC, DKIM, domain rotation, some personal infrastructure potentially, so you can maximize your deliverability, then double checking your spam bounce rates, going for lead verification, and all the 100 other things to just be on the edge and be getting like 10-20 calls out of cold email for your solution. And years ago, at least from guys who coached me on cold email, I heard that it's been not nearly as competitive, because now if you want to grow your B2B SaaS with cold email, I mean, and you're not familiar with how you can rotate domains, or for example, the fact that you actually need multiple domains and be checking domain health for running your campaign smoothly, how far you can go, like 1-2 replies a month or something. And that's quite a common use case. I see that, for example, people, or usually a founder or some senior sales guy who comes from a different industry goes into, they start building their first B2B SaaS solution, and they try to start running cold email, and they set up HubSpot, classic HubSpot for sending outbound emails, which if you're using it right now, come on, it's not a product which is optimized for outbound cold email. It's, you can brush your teeth with 1,000 different objects, but using the toothbrush is just so much more pleasant. And that's the reference I usually give to people who are using some weird or clunky softwares for sending out outbound cold email campaigns. And you need to be doing enough volume so that you can test enough things, prioritizing the right stuff, And only having enough volume there, you can actually find your message market fit and design your lead flow such way that you will be getting 10 to 20 meetings a week consistently. With volume, I mean that, for example, you saying, oh, we sent like 300 emails or like 1K emails to 5 audiences. No, you, especially if you don't have tens of customers who you interviewed on the reason why they purchased your product, you still need to actually go and find out why would someone need to use your product and why someone would want to get on a call with you to learn more about it. And the way you do it is you set up the infrastructure that allows you to test a lot more things at a larger volume, and by you focusing on the right things, that's how you can crack the code and start getting meetings on your calendar. And recently I created a private Telegram channel where I'm now posting some insights from what we're doing with clients to be signing for us to be signing customers for them using LinkedIn, cold email, Facebook ads, and a few other channels. So I'll put the link in the description so you can join for free. And aside from that, none of things I mentioned would matter if you don't have enough patience, because that's the other issue I see. It's like you can have all of this, you can have awesome testing, large volume, focus on the right things, but then every week you are questioning whether you're on the right path or not. You know, I've started over 10 ventures in my entrepreneurial journey. These were jewelry shops, dropshipping backpacks, this note-taking app, then an app to bet against your friends on some daily life things, for which I built with no-code tool Adalo, and a bunch more. And in none of them I had enough patience to get it off the ground. And now thinking back, like a jewelry shop which was pretty decent and our collections was nice, but as I was thinking, oh, within few months of us starting I should just be making a ton of money, I didn't have the patience to go long enough with it. Similar situation with like me doing the e-commerce shop with my friends where we were selling dog toys online, and few months in, yeah, sure, this one ended up with like being one of the most successful ventures prior to me getting into startups. But still, if you're always operating on a couple week horizon, how can you compete with guys who have enough patience to invest effort into something for a year and get it off the ground? It's like, imagine, because with a business you are building a house, or better say skyscraper, and the foundation you are building is sand, and you try to build yours within 1 or 3 weeks, and you're competing with guys who have patience and who can focus on building their foundation for their skyscraper for a year or a year and a half. Not saying that it should take a year and a half to find product market fit, but just I'm saying that to clarify that for people who are pre-product market fit, pre-message market fit, you don't find your best messaging and the best channel in first attempts in a couple days. Sometimes I've come across cases like this, but with me, like if I were to take the last 500 calls with B2B SaaS founders I was on, I can count by numbers of 2 hands when, for example, someone would have such an immense experience with the industry and would have such an insane understanding of the buyer persona and messaging that they were able to go from, say, 0 to the first 50 or 70K within less than 6 months or less than 8 months. Again, from 500 startups, only a couple such cases. And yeah, so testing enough things at the right volume, prioritizing the right stuff, and putting enough patience to execute on it. And this way you will get there. In case you'd like more help executing on it and you don't want to spend years like I did going through the hardcore grind way figuring all this out, and you want to get your B2B SaaS to 50k to 500k MRR, then I mean, I've gotten and coached over 100 founders on getting there, and you can just go to saascamp.com at strategy and book a call with me. So I appreciate you watching this one, and talk soon.